What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing 2020-26 FIFA World Cup kind of initial thoughts on the groups. I'm going to be giving you guys who I think will be making it out of each group. Before the tournament starts, I'm going to be giving you an in-depth analysis on every single team. But for now, we're kind of going to go through some of the groups. Some of them are less interesting than others, and some of them I'll take my time on them more. But yeah, some of these groups are absolutely insane. So let's get straight into it. Starting off with Group A, which has Mexico, South Africa, Korea, and between one of the playoff teams, which will be between Ireland, Czechoslovakia, Macedonia, and Denmark. Honestly, I think this one is going to be a very competitive group. I think all of these teams can pretty much honestly, you can make an argument that a lot of them can make it out. I think every single one of them. But if the playoff does go how I imagine, I think Denmark will finish first. I think Denmark is better than every single team here. I think second place, Mexico, South Africa, and Korea, all these teams, they can beat each other. These teams are looking at each other saying that, yeah, I think we can take a game off of each other. I personally am going to go with Korea. I think Korea has, that upset potential over someone like a Mexico and a South Africa. Now, those teams can advance. I've seen some people say that South Africa will advance, but I personally don't think so. I think it'll be first Denmark, 2 Korea, 3rd Mexico, and unfortunately South Africa will not be qualifying to the next stage. Group B has Canada between one of the playoff teams, which will be between Italy and Wales, Qatar, Switzerland. I think this one is very, very self-explanatory. I think it's going to be between Switzerland and Canada for the top 2. I think Italy are very, very inconsistent. Italy have been, the recent World Cups, they've been absolutely atrocious, which is something a lot of people don't like to mention. Even though they won the Euros a couple years back, at the World Cup, they have been horrible for a very long time. Italy haven't actually been good since they really won the World Cup. They've been kind of atrocious on the international level. So who knows, maybe this time around that will change, but I personally don't think it will change that much. So yeah, I think number 1, Switzerland, number 2, Canada, number 3, Italy will still make it out because Qatar is just genuinely horrible. No offense, but Qatar is just not doing anything in this group. They've never won a World Cup match. So, yeah. Group C, Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, Scotland. I think this one is very, very competitive, too. I think you have a very good case for a lot of these teams, but I think Brazil and Morocco are just going to top it. I can't really see a world where Haiti and Scotland do an upset. So, there's not much to talk about there. Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, and one of the playoff teams between Turkey, Romania. I think it's going to be between Turkey. I think Turkey is going to make it. Turkey are incredible. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but Turkey are really, really good. They did good in a lot of tournaments. United States of America is very inconsistent on the international level, so I can definitely see them choking. And I think Paraguay is going to top this group because Paraguay is a very solid team. Paraguay are not an amazing team, but they're also not a bad team. They do a lot of things that are actually kind of good. So I can definitely see this team honestly going undefeated. I think Paraguay is a really, really good team looking at this group, and I think that they'll finish first. I think second place will be Australia, and third will be Turkey. And I have a hot take. I don't think the United States of America will be making it out of groups. I think that this team is going to lose to Paraguay and Turkey. I think they're going to be at the bottom of the list. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the United States of America makes it out because they're USA. It's their home nation. They're hosting the tournament. That's where most of the games will be played. But I think that they will not do that well this tournament. And I think the other 3 are just honestly better. So, yeah. Group E, Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Again, this group is, I think it's the top 2 are kind of clear-cut favorites. I think Germany and Ecuador will make it out comfortably. And I think number 3 will be Ivory Coast. No offense to Curacao, but I can't really see them doing much against these other teams. I think Germany will finish first. Ecuador will finish second. But I think Ecuador will beat Germany. But Germany will thrash the other teams, and Ecuador will tie to one of the other teams because Ecuador beats teams that they shouldn't beat, but they lose or tie to teams that they should beat, if that makes sense. So I think Ecuador will finish second, but they will beat Germany in a 1-0 game or a really drawn-out, close battle, a 2-1. So, yeah. And then third, Ivory Coast. Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Poland, Tunisia. Another interesting group. All these groups are very, very interesting. So, yeah. I think Netherlands will make it out. Then, I think Japan makes it second. Number 3, Tunisia or Poland. Both these teams can beat each other. But I'm going to bank on the fact that Lewandowski will be informed when the World Cup comes around and he will show up for his team. So I think I'm going to go, honestly, with... I'm going to go with Poland. I think Poland does it. So, yeah. Netherlands first, Japan second, third Poland. Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, New Zealand. Again, clear-cut favor in Belgium. A lot of their best players are not there. Kind of dying golden generation, but I still think they will get it done in first place. And then second place, I think it'll actually be between... Honestly, bro, I think Egypt should get second, honestly. I think they should beat Iran and New Zealand. Those teams don't have that much firepower. Egypt has a couple of firepowers. We'll see at AFCON how they perform. But yeah, Egypt should make it out of this group. And then third place, I'll say New Zealand. And then last place, I'll say Iran. Group H, Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. I think the top two is clear-cut, Spain and Uruguay. That game's going to be amazing. It depends what version we get of Uruguay, but if Uruguay's playing at their absolute best, they can definitely take down Spain. I think Spain is kind of a tad bit overrated. A lot of people think they're like the clear-cut favorites, but I don't think they are. I mean, Spain have been pretty awful at multiple tournaments now. 2014, they got grouped, and they lost to the team that they beat in the World Cup final the previous 4 years. In Netherlands, they lost 4-1. They got spanked. 2018, I don't even think that they made it out of groups. And then 2022, they didn't play well. So it's been through multiple tournaments in a row where Spain have like these super stacked teams and they don't actually perform. So who's to say that doesn't happen again? I think this time around will be different because I do think Lamine Yamal is just genuinely one of the best players in the world. But I don't know. I'm getting kind of deja vu. I think Spain should top the group, but I wouldn't be surprised if they like don't top it. You know what I mean? So yeah. And then Uruguay, second, and then third, I'll give it to Saudi Arabia. I think Saudi Arabia will cause another I don't know if they will cause another upset, but I think they should at least beat Cape Verde. Maybe it's like a shocker they get a draw against Spain or Uruguay, but who knows? So yeah, those are the three teams. Group I, France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. This group is probably the group of death, even though I don't think there's a quote-unquote group of death. I think most of these, like 90% of these groups are balanced. But this one is going to have like the most competitive games, you could say, because France is world-class. Senegal can be really, really good. And Norway was the best European team in qualifiers, I believe. They like scored the most and conceded the least goals, I think, which is fucking crazy. You wouldn't expect that from Norway. But yeah, Norway looks really, really good. So I think they're going to finish second, France first, Senegal third, and unfortunately, Iraq, I don't see a world where they make it out of this group, especially in the top two. If they do make it out, it'll be through the playoff end in the third place, but yeah, I don't think so. Group J, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. Very easy group for Argentina. You know, as somebody who likes Argentina and Messi, you can't defend this group. This is a very easy group. The competition is not like atrocious. Like at the end of the day, it's a World Cup. Anything can happen. If you made it, you still have to take every team seriously. But I just don't see a world where Argentina even drops points. I think that they will just go 3 for 3. I think they'll get 9 points, and I think their players will be very, very rested. They can use their bench, honestly, and that sounds disrespectful, but it's no disrespect to the other teams. Argentina is just a tier above these teams. I think Argentina, to me, is still the favorite to win the World Cup based on recent track record. I mean, their win-loss ratio is insane. Like Argentina in like the last 6 years or 7 have lost like fucking 4 games, which is mind-boggling. They're averaging like a loss every year or every 2 years. So they're just super consistent. They have probably the best coach on the international stage with proven, like, this guy has proven it multiple times that he can get it done when it matters most. So I think that's what matters. And then Group K, Portugal, DR Congo, Uzbekistan, Colombia. Ooh, I think Colombia finishes first. I think Portugal finishes second, third, Uzbekistan. I think a lot of people are kind of downplaying Colombia. Like, Colombia is a very, really good team. I think they're one of the best teams in the world. You can make arguments they're top 10. You can make arguments they're top 5. They were super close winning the Copa America. And you could argue they should have won it if it wasn't for individual mistakes. They did push Argentina to the absolute limits. They eventually did beat Argentina in the World Cup qualifier. So this team has been kind of going up on up towards trajectory. And I think that by the time the World Cup comes, they're all going to be locked in. James Rodriguez is always going to be locked in for the selección and the national team. Luis Diaz, Jasper, Quintero. They have a very, very solid team. So yeah, I think the expectation of Colombia this World Cup is to make it very, very far and win it. So yeah, I think Portugal versus Colombia might end in a tie. but I think Colombia will beat the other teams harder than Portugal will beat the other teams. Portugal at the World Cups have honestly been underwhelming. They tend to struggle against teams that they shouldn't have, and they honestly choke a lot, which is something a lot of people don't think about. Like Portugal has had multiple super teams over multiple different World Cups, and they just don't perform when it matters, man. Like their star player just doesn't show up for their team when it comes to the World Cup. So, yeah. And lastly, Group L, we have England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. I think this one will be very self-explanatory. I think England will finish first. Croatia will finish second. I think that's a rematch of the 2018 semifinals where Croatia actually beat England 2-1. I don't think that's going to happen this time around because Croatia are losing a lot of like their star players and they're aging a lot. But I think it can be a tie, but I think England is just going to destroy the other teams way harder than Croatia. Like I think England can definitely outscore these teams more than Croatia can score more on these teams. Like Ghana, Panama, maybe Ghana can find an upset. They're not a bad team. Panama, they can maybe cause an upset, but it's just very unlikely to see. I think a lot of these groups are going to go kind of how people are predicting it, but obviously there's going to be like a team that, maybe chokes. There's always a team that overexceeds expectations, but yeah. Those are my first quick thoughts on the groups. Let me know who you guys think will win the tournament. Let me know who you guys think will be the player of the tournament. Let me know your dark horse in the comment sections below. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.